So, hi everybody and welcome back. This is our Unreal Engine 5 5 tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video number 7, and in this video we continue with our overview. We stopped here on the bottom line. I think I forget these two things here to mention. So let's do this fast. This output log, let's click on it, and then you can see all the things what it prints out when the game starts. What we do is now we right click with the mouse on it and go on top and clear log. So now when we go here on top to the play button and start, and now we stop again, and now we go down to output log again, and you can see what all happens here. When we started the game, then you can read this through just to get an overview. Don't worry if you don't understand anything, and it's not very important at all. This output log will become very important when you have compiler errors, because then there will appear one line or perhaps more lines, but in general one line, a red line, and it says an error, and then this red line you have to solve. And the most time you solve this line as a beginner is you just copy the line and go to Google, or you copy a part of it and go to Google or a search engine what you have and search what the error is in general. That said, we jump to the next thing, which is our which is let me go down here, which is our CMD, which means our command prompt. This is a shortcut, and that's interesting. I didn't know this one, but now I know it. We have here a section for Python script and so on, and a command prompt. That's cool, but I never used that actually, but it's a very powerful tool for what? This here, you can write some commands, for example, show stat FPS. You see there are, I don't know where, there are some stats for FPS, and then you can enter it, and I don't know what I changed, whatever. Anyway, before you type any commands here in, like me who has no clue, I would search them on your search machine first. What does it do, and then use it. But in general, at start, at a beginner, not very important. Don't worry about that. Later in process, if you become better and better, this becomes more and more important. So let's go with our overview, and now we are at the point where we covered the most basic things here. We can start a game. We know the most basic things here around. And let's talk about our content drawer again. Why? Because we need to create files, and this one is very important. So we opened our content drawer here, or control space, and because we are going to work with files, I am going to dock this in layout. So our content drawer, instead all time clicking the content drawer here with control space, I dock in layout. And I did this in one of my last videos, and I was confused with how to unlock this, and it was actually a very easy solution there. And that is, you can just, when you say, okay, I'm done with my file management and so on, then you can just go here on top like all with the level editor of things and click it away. And now you can use again with control space your standard content drawer again. Yeah, that was simple, but sometimes even simple things I can't figure out at once. Later, yeah. So let's dock this again in our content here. So it is locked. Why? That's very convenient now, because we are going to work with files, and the first thing what we do is let's go here a little bit higher and watch our left folders. And here, very important is we go to our project, and then we go here where it says all. important is this name here, actually, content, because this will be very important later for importing stuff and so on. That's why here it starts actually here. I think, I don't know what all is. I mean, in Unreal Engine 4 there was only this folder content, and then you created all your files below that. Okay, whatever, let's continue. And you can see we have here already folders, but in general you have here no folders, and these folders are irritating us a little bit, right? Because these folders we have not created. For example, the starter content, it's a very nice content, but it's only good for having assets, and we have no clue. So what we are going to do is we go to content on top, we click on it, then you can go here to add and create a new folder here, or what I do most time, you click again on content, you just go here on this space, then right click here, and you see it pops up as well, the same thing what it pops here up. Then you can go here on new folder. Let's go to new folder, and now we create our new folder. The new folder what I'm going to create most time is at start the same name as my project name, because then I know all the project files I for this game I will put in here. So my project name, for example, it's on the top right. When you look this is my project name, demonstration YouTube, and this one is my folder name. But before I write the folder name, there's one more thing. I use an underscore or something. Yeah, I use an underscore, and then I write my project name. So let's do this. Demonstration YouTube. So, and the question is why I do this underscore here. The reason for that is this folder, this content folder, which you can see here, is sorted alphabetically. And it means, for example, my name could be appearing later down here when there is something, when there is another folder with A or so something. To avoid that, I start with an underscore, and the underscore it comes before all other alphabetical letters, so it's on top. This is a convenient trick which many use. So, but there is something else. Let's click on our created folder, and even this is on top. It's popping out in my eyes. I want that I see it instantly. So you can do one more trick, which is very nice. So you click on your folder, right click on it, and then we go to the option here, set color. Yeah, then we click on it, and here we can set a color. And now you should set probably a color which pops in your eyes. So when you because you will click on this folder many times, I use this one just for sake. And you can see when I look at this folder now, I see, this is my folder where I'm what I'm working on. Yeah, that's that. Let's go to the next point. Now I know I click on my folder, and I'm going to create now the files. And here there are very common files which you have to create. For example, let me show you that in the starter content. Here, the starter content, this is provided by Epic. You can see they have created here files too, and there are some very common files. For example, a map file, you have to create this blueprint file, audio file, let's see, particle files, props, probably not this one, because here it will call static mesh instead of props. They call it props, but it's more static mesh. Textures definitely, and materials is combined with that. Yeah, so these are more common files which you have to create in your folder later too. But there are people who are creating them first, empty folders, and there are people like me who don't create them first. So why we are not creating them first? I'm going only create folders and files which I need for my project at the time where I am in my development. So which means here in our case we have nothing. I don't create anything here because when I start to need a file, then I create it. So that's set. Let's continue. Before I go on, I want to show you one more thing here, and that is here on the right side there is settings, and I think I missed to mention you here one important thing. For example, here I talked about this view and show favorites, show folders, and this is this one. So instead of favorites, you can get rid of this one, I think. Is that so? No, it's not so. Okay, it's not something else. Whatever. It's not very important. Show source panel. Important is what I wanted to show you. It's not this one. It's this one. Content. And why is this one important? Because this one will be visible here on the left side too, but sometimes you don't want it, sometimes you want it. For example, let's go to show engine content. This one is very important. When you go to engine content, you can see here a new folder appears in our old sections. Now I know why there is old sections. And because this content is most time for developer, right? Very important for us. And this section, this engine, comes from the Unreal Engine from Epic. It's provided all files, and there are interesting content too. For example, this base shapes, what you see here, you can find it or anything else. So there are provided assets, materials, informations too. But sometimes it will pop up. For example, if you are searching and you don't want this one appear here, then you go here on settings and disable this place. So here you say I don't want to see this one and get rid of it. And here the same thing with show. This one is not so important. Show developers content. So the important thing here is probably this engine content that will pop up sometimes. The other things not so much, and C++ classes. This will pop up too sometimes if you're working, of course, with C++ and so. But in our case, we can keep it. We have a blueprint, and I don't think here is popping any C++ class up. But if you have a C++ project, then of course it will pop up. So far for this video, and in the next video I will continue here with our project folder where we create our first folder, and I think we will move here some files before we go on. I will show you that in the next video what we are going to do there, because there is something very important to do before we continue, and that's a good demonstration then. So see you in the next video. Bye.